The silk robe looked wrong on her. Too tight across the shoulders. Too short at the hem. I stood in the doorway of my own bedroom, suitcase still in hand, watching my best friend adjust the belt of my anniversary gift like it belonged to her. The airport smell still clung to my clothes. Recycled air and coffee, and that chemical soap from the airplane bathroom. 10 hours on a plane. 2 layovers. All to surprise my husband on his 43rd birthday. The villa in Phuket was supposed to be empty until tomorrow. That's what Gregory told me. Business meetings all week, he said. Back-to-back consultations with potential investors. I'll be so buried in work, I won't even have time to miss you. He'd laughed over the phone 3 days ago. His voice had that smooth quality it always carried when he lied. I just didn't know it yet. Vanessa turned. Her face went white. Actually white, like someone had drained the blood straight through her feet. The champagne glass in her hand tilted. A few drops of Moet hit the hardwood floor. Dark spots on pale wood. I watched them spread. My brain wasn't processing fast enough. It kept trying to rewrite what my eyes were seeing. Maybe she was house-sitting. Maybe Gregory lent her the villa. Maybe this was some elaborate surprise he'd planned, and I'd just ruined it by showing up early. Then I saw his watch on the nightstand, the Patek Philippe I'd given him for our 15th anniversary. Next to it, 2 phones, his and hers. Screens dark. And draped across the chair, his shirt. The blue one I'd ironed last week before he left. Before I dive in, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. And if you enjoy stories like this, please like and subscribe. It helps me keep sharing more. I heard movement behind me, footsteps on the stairs. My son's voice, quiet and strange. Mom, just that one word. But it carried weight, like he'd been holding it in his mouth for too long, and it had gone sour. I turned. 18 years old, and Carter looked older than me in that moment. His face had that expression I'd seen once before, when his grandfather died. Not grief exactly. Something colder. Recognition. Like he'd already known this was coming and had just been waiting for me to catch up. "Where's your father?" My voice came out flat. Carter's eyes moved past me into the bedroom. Vanessa had set down the champagne. She'd wrapped her arms around herself. The robe, my robe, gaped open at the chest. I could see the edge of lace underneath. Black lace. I didn't own anything black. "He's in the shower," Carter said. His jaw was tight. I could see the muscle working under the skin. "Mom, we should go." "No." The word came out harder than I meant it to. I walked into the bedroom. My bedroom. Except it wasn't mine anymore, was it? Someone had changed the sheets. White silk instead of the cream cotton I'd left. There were roses on the dresser, 2 dozen at least, red and fresh and obscene. The bathroom door was closed. I could hear water running. Steam leaked out from underneath. Vanessa moved toward me. Her hands came up, palms out. Defensive. Like I was the threat. "Eleanor," she started. "I've known this woman for 12 years. We met at a charity gala. She'd spilled wine on my dress and bought me a new one the next day. $600 she didn't have, but she spent it anyway because that's who Vanessa was. Generous. Thoughtful. The kind of friend who remembered birthdays and showed up when you called crying at 2 in the morning. The kind of friend who was currently wearing my robe in my bedroom while my husband showered off whatever they'd been doing before I arrived. "Don't," I said. She closed her mouth. The water shut off. For 3 seconds, maybe 4, nobody moved. Then the bathroom door opened. Steam poured out. Gregory stepped through it, towel around his waist, skin still wet. He was humming. Something classical. Mozart, maybe. He'd always hummed Mozart when he was happy. He looked up. Saw me. The humming stopped. His face did something complicated. Surprise, then panic, then this weird attempt at a smile, like maybe he could charm his way through this. "Eleanor," he said. His voice was too loud. "You're early." I dropped my suitcase. It hit the floor with a thud that seemed to echo. Carter appeared beside me. His hand found my elbow. Steady, grounding. This isn't what it looks like. I felt something cold settle into my chest, where the shock had been. Vanessa was crying. Quiet tears that smeared her mascara. She'd always cried pretty. Even now, caught and guilty, she looked like something out of a film. Tragic and beautiful. I hated her for it. How long? I said. What? Gregory's towel slipped. He caught it. How long have you been sleeping with my best friend? Our house. He corrected me, like it mattered. I felt Carter's grip tighten on my elbow. Eleanor, please. Gregory started toward me. I stepped back. He froze. For the first time since I'd met him, 20 years ago, at a medical conference in Boston, Gregory Whitmore looked uncertain. His confidence had always been absolute, unshakable. He was a neurosurgeon, one of the best on the East Coast. He saved lives. But he was flinching now. Good. Get dressed, I told Vanessa. She nodded, grabbed her clothes, disappeared into the bathroom. The door clicked shut. Gregory and I stood there, 5 feet apart, an ocean between us. You weren't supposed to be here until tomorrow, he said. Like that was the problem. Like timing was what had gone wrong. I laughed. Couldn't help it. The sound came out jagged. Carter's hand moved from my elbow to my shoulder. I could feel him shaking. Or maybe that was me. We need to talk about this, Gregory said. He'd found his footing again. His voice had that reasonable quality he used with difficult patients. Calm, authoritative. There's nothing to talk about. Don't be dramatic. Dramatic. I felt something crack inside my chest. 17 years. 2 miscarriages before Carter. Countless nights alone while he worked late. All those charity galas where I smiled and played the perfect surgeon's wife. And this whole time. What, Eleanor? This whole time what? This whole time you were screwing my best friend. He flinched. Actually flinched. It's not like that. Then what's it like, Gregory? Explain it to me. Use small words. I'm just a dramatic housewife. He looked at Carter. Son? Carter's voice was ice. Don't call me that. Something flickered across Gregory's face. Hurt, maybe, or anger. The bathroom door opened. Vanessa emerged, dressed now in jeans and a sweater. Her face was blotchy. She wouldn't look at me. I should go, she whispered. Yes, I said. You should. She moved toward the door, hesitated, looked back at Gregory. He gave her the smallest nod. And that, more than anything else, that tiny gesture of familiarity broke something in me. Get out, I said. My voice was shaking now. Get out of my house! Vanessa fled. I heard her footsteps on the stairs. The front door opening, closing, then silence. Gregory and I stared at each other. You need to calm down, he said. I need to calm down. Yes. We're both adults. We can discuss this rationally. There's nothing to discuss. Eleanor! Don't. I held up my hand. Don't say my name like that. Like I'm hysterical. Like I'm the problem here. You are being hysterical. Carter moved, fast. He stepped between us, his back to me, facing his father. Get dressed, he said. His voice was level, cold. Pack a bag and leave. Gregory's face hardened. This is my house. Not anymore. You don't get to make that decision. Carter didn't move, didn't blink. Yeah, Dad, I do. They stood there, father and son, same height, same build. But Carter had something Gregory didn't. Certainty. Gregory looked at me over Carter's shoulder. We'll talk about this later. When you've had time to think. There's nothing to think about. You don't mean that. I mean every word. Get out of my house. Our house, he said again. But he was already moving toward the closet, already pulling out clothes. It took him 7 minutes to pack. I counted. Carter stayed between us the whole time. Guardian, protector. When Gregory finished, he stood by the door, suitcase in hand, phone in pocket. Still shirtless under his jacket because he'd been in too much of a hurry. This isn't over, he said. Yes, it is. I'm filing for divorce on Monday. His jaw tightened. You're upset. I understand. But don't make decisions you'll regret. The only thing I regret is not seeing this sooner. He left. The front door closed. The silence that followed felt like drowning. I stood there in my bedroom that wasn't my bedroom anymore, in my house that wasn't my house anymore, in my marriage that had never been my marriage. Carter turned. Mom. I couldn't look at him, couldn't let him see my face. How long have you known? I whispered. His silence was answer enough. I sat down on the bed. The sheets were still warm, still smelled like them, like sex and betrayal, and 15 years of my life burning down. Carter sat beside me, took my hand. His palm was sweaty. I wanted to tell you. When? 6 months ago, I started noticing the way she'd show up when you weren't home, the way Dad would find excuses to be wherever she was. I thought maybe I was paranoid. Then I saw them. Where? Here, 3 months ago. I came home early from school. They were in the kitchen. He was touching her, not like a friend. I felt sick. Why didn't you say something? I wanted proof, wanted to be sure. So I started watching, taking notes, dates, times. I thought maybe I could catch them, give you evidence, so you wouldn't doubt yourself when you found out. My baby, my 18-year-old baby, had been carrying this for months, had been protecting me in the only way he knew how. I pulled him close. He let me. For a moment, we just sat there, mother and son, broken and furious and together. Then he pulled back. There's something else, he said. What? His face did something complicated. Fear, excitement, that cold recognition again. Mom, I need to show you something. What is it? Not here. He stood, held out his hand. We need to leave. Now. Why? He looked toward the bathroom, where Vanessa had been, where she'd left her champagne glass on the counter. Because Daddy's not waking up, he whispered, and I need you to trust me. The hotel room smelled like bleach and fake flowers. Carter had driven us here in silence, his hands tight on the wheel, eyes checking the rear view every 30 seconds. I'd watched the villa disappear behind us, watched the palm trees and white sand and crystalline water fade into distance. Paradise. What a joke. Now we sat on opposite beds in a room the color of old teeth. Carter had his laptop open. I had questions multiplying in my skull like cancer. What do you mean he's not waking up? Carter's fingers moved across the keyboard. Fast. Practiced. He didn't look at me. I need you to stay calm. I am calm. You're not. Your left eye is twitching. It does that when you're about to lose it. I touched my face. He was right. When did you start noticing that? Mom. His voice was gentle. I notice everything. That's the problem. He turned the laptop toward me. The screen showed a document, medical records. I recognized the letterhead, Boston General, Gregory's hospital. But these weren't his files. They were about him. Patient name, Gregory Allen Whitmore. Date of admission, never. Diagnosis, pending. Status, concerning. I don't understand. Keep reading. I scrolled. The document was clinical, detached. It detailed symptoms Gregory had been experiencing over the past 8 months. Headaches, dizziness, occasional memory lapses. Nothing major. Nothing that would make you think twice. Except, where did you get this? I asked. Carter's jaw tightened. I hacked his medical portal. You what? Before you freak out, just listen. 3 months ago, after I saw him with Vanessa, I started digging. I wanted dirt. Wanted something I could use to prove he was a piece of shit. I thought maybe financial records, emails, something normal. But then I found his search history. What was he searching? Symptoms of brain tumors. My stomach dropped. No. Mom. Don't. I kept reading. Gregory had been researching glioblastoma. Aggressive, fast-growing. The kind of tumor that killed you in months, not years. The kind of tumor a neurosurgeon would recognize immediately. There's no diagnosis here, I said. My voice sounded far away. Because he hasn't gone in for testing. Why not? Carter closed the laptop. Because he knows what it is. And he knows what it means. I stood up, started pacing. The room was too small, the walls too close. This doesn't make sense. If he suspected a brain tumor, he'd get it checked immediately. He's a surgeon. He understands early detection. Unless he doesn't want to detect it early. I stopped. Looked at my son. What are you saying? Carter met my eyes. I'm saying Dad has a brain tumor, and I think he's been letting it kill him. That's insane. Is it? Think about it. The affair with Vanessa, the recklessness, the way he's been spending money lately, all those trips, the jewelry. Did you know he bought her a car last month? No. A Tesla. $60,000. I saw the receipt. I sat back down. The bed creaked under me. Why would he do that? Carter leaned forward. Because he's dying, and he doesn't want to die alone. So he's been building a backup family. I felt cold. The kind of cold that starts in your spine and spreads outward until your fingers go numb. That doesn't excuse what he did. I know, but it explains it. No. I shook my head. No. You don't get to make me feel sorry for him. I'm not trying to make you feel anything. I'm telling you what I found. And what I did about it. What did you do? Carter opened his laptop again. Pulled up a different file. This one was a spreadsheet. Columns of numbers, dates, transactions. I've been tracking his finances for 2 months. He's been liquidating assets. Slowly, quietly. Moving money into offshore accounts. How much? 3.7 million so far. Jesus. Yeah. And here's the thing. He's not putting Vanessa's name on anything, so where's the money going? Carter smiled. Didn't reach his eyes. That's what I wanted to know. So I followed the trail. Took me 6 weeks, but I found it. He pulled up another document, a will, dated 2 months ago. I read it, every word. Gregory Allen Whitmore, being of sound mind and body. Except he wasn't. Sound mind, I mean. Not if Carter was right about the tumor. The will was detailed, specific. It left everything to me, the house, the practice, the investments, every penny, nothing to Vanessa. I don't understand, I said. If he's dying, if he's been planning for this, why leave everything to me? Why not the woman he's been sleeping with for 6 months? Because he doesn't love her. Carter's voice was flat. He's using her. She's a distraction. Something to make the dying easier. But he still loves you. Bullshit. Mom. He left you everything. That's not love. That's guilt. Maybe. Carter closed the laptop. Or maybe it's both. I stood up again. Walked to the window. Outside, the Thai sun was setting, orange and pink bleeding across the sky. Beautiful and terrible. Gregory was dying. Gregory had been dying this whole time. And instead of telling me, instead of letting me help him, letting me say goodbye, he'd chosen to blow up our marriage, to humiliate me, to make me hate him. Why? I whispered. Carter came to stand beside me. I've been thinking about that. And I think he wanted you to leave him. Before the end. Before it got bad. Brain tumors like this, they don't just kill you, they change you. Personality shifts, aggression, memory loss. He would have become someone else, someone you wouldn't recognize. And he couldn't stand the thought of you seeing him like that. So he made you hate him first. I felt tears on my face. Didn't remember starting to cry. That's the cruelest thing I've ever heard. I know. I hate him for it, Carter said, but I also understand it. I turned to look at my son. 18 years old. When had he become so much older than me? What did you do? I asked again. What do you mean? Carter. Don't play dumb. You said there's something else. You said he's not waking up. What did you do? Carter was quiet for a long time. Then he reached into his pocket, pulled out a small glass vial. Empty now. But I recognized the label. Potassium chloride. High concentration. The kind used in hospitals. The kind that, in the right dose, could stop a heart. Oh my God. Mom, what did you do? His voice was steady. Calm. I protected you. The room tilted. I grabbed the windowsill for support. You didn't. I put it in his champagne. The bottle in the bedroom. The Moe. The one they were drinking before you arrived. How much? Enough. Carter. Enough to what? To make it look like a heart attack. He's already dying, already sick. Nobody will question it. They'll assume it was the tumor, stress, bad luck. You killed your father. The words hung in the air between us. Carter didn't flinch. I protected my mother. That's not the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. You were never going to be free of him, Carter said. His voice was rising now. First the affair, then the divorce, then the medical bills when the tumor got bad, then the guilt. Always the guilt. Because you're too good. You would have stayed, would have taken care of him even after what he did, would have bankrupted yourself paying for treatments that wouldn't work, would have destroyed yourself trying to save a man who didn't want to be saved. I couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. He's back at the villa, I said. Right now. We left him there. Carter nodded. With Vanessa. Oh God. Vanessa. She didn't drink the champagne. She set it down. Remember? When you walked in. She set it down and never picked it back up. So she's fine. And he's dead. Carter said it like he was ordering coffee. Casual, simple. By now, yeah. Probably. I'm going to be sick. I ran to the bathroom, made it to the toilet just in time. Everything came up. The airplane food, the coffee, the shock. When there was nothing left, I sat on the cold tile floor and shook. Carter appeared in the doorway, handed me a towel. I didn't take it. You need to turn yourself in, I said. No. Carter. This is murder. It's justice. Those aren't the same thing. Sometimes they are. I looked up at my son. At this stranger, who looked like my baby, but talked like someone I'd never met. When did you become this? He crouched down, looked me in the eye. When I watched my father destroy my mother and decided I wouldn't let him finish the job. I didn't ask you to do this, I know. But I did it anyway, because someone had to. We sat there on the bathroom floor. Mother and son, killer and accomplice. You have to fix this, I whispered. Can't unfry an egg, Mom. Carter. We go home. We act normal. In 2 days, maybe 3, someone will find him. Probably Vanessa. She'll call the police. They'll find a 63-year-old man with an undiagnosed brain tumor dead in his vacation rental. They'll rule it natural causes. And we'll be free. I wanted to argue. Wanted to tell him this was insane. That we couldn't just let a man die and pretend nothing happened. But the truth, the terrible truth, was part of me was relieved. Part of me was glad I'd never have to see Gregory's face again. Never have to sit across from him in a lawyer's office. Never have to watch him marry Vanessa. And that made me a monster too. What if they figure it out? I said. They won't. How can you be sure? Because I'm smarter than they are. Carter stood up, offered his hand. I took it. Let him pull me to my feet. We need to get our story straight, he said. What story? You came to surprise Dad, found him with Vanessa, had a confrontation, left, came here to calm down. That's it. That's the truth. Except for the part where you poisoned him. He didn't look away. Except for that part, yeah. I walked past him, back into the room, sat on the bed. My phone was ringing. I picked it up. Unknown number. Don't answer it, Carter said. I answered it. Eleanor? Vanessa's voice, cracked, panicked. I hung up. She called back immediately. I let it ring. Mom. Carter's voice was warning. She's found him, I said. My voice was steady, calmer than it should have been. That's not our problem. She'll call the police. Good. Let her. They'll come here. Eventually. Maybe. And when they do, we tell them the truth. That we left. That we didn't see anything after that. I looked at my son. At this cold, calculating stranger. How do you know all this? How do you know how to stage a murder? I don't. Carter sat down next to me. I'm making it up as I go along. Jesus! But I'm good at improvising. Always have been. The phone stopped ringing. Started again. Different number this time. Still unknown. I answered. Mrs. Whitmore? Yes. This is Detective Somchai, with the Phuket Police. We've received a report of a death at a property registered to your husband. I'm sorry to inform you. I know. I said. My voice broke. Perfect timing. I know. I found him this afternoon. With another woman. We had a fight. I left. Is he? The detective was quiet for a moment. I'm very sorry for your loss. I need you to come to the villa to give a statement. Now? If possible. I looked at Carter. He nodded. We'll be there in 20 minutes, I said. I hung up. He's really dead, I whispered. Yeah. Carter's voice was soft now. He is. And we have to live with that. I don't know if I can. You can. You're stronger than you think. How do you know? Because you're my mom. And my mom doesn't break. We sat there in the hotel room that smelled like bleach and fake flowers. In the distance, I could hear sirens, coming closer, getting ready for the performance of our lives. The villa looked different at night. Police lights turned everything blue and red. Ambulance in the driveway. Neighbors gathering on the street, whispering, pointing. Detective Samchai met us at the door. He was small, neat, had the kind of eyes that didn't miss anything. Mrs. Whitmore. Thank you for coming. He gestured inside. I'm very sorry for your circumstances. Circumstances, like Gregory's death, was weather. Unavoidable. Something that just happened. Carter stayed close, his hand on my lower back, guiding me, supporting me, playing the devoted son perfectly. The bedroom door was open. I could see shapes moving inside. Crime scene techs, photographers. Someone was taking measurements. Someone else was dusting for prints. I didn't want to look. Couldn't help looking. Gregory was on the bed, sheet pulled up to his chest, eyes closed. He looked peaceful, like he was sleeping, like he might wake up any second and smile that charming smile and tell me this was all a misunderstanding. But he wasn't sleeping, and he wasn't going to wake up. Mrs. Whitmore? The detective was watching me. I realized I'd stopped moving, stopped breathing. Sorry, it's a shock. Of course. Please sit. He led me to the living room. The furniture was expensive, tasteful. Nothing like the home Gregory and I had built together in Boston. This was his secret life, his other world, one I'd never been invited to, never even knew existed. The detective pulled out a notebook, clicked his pen. I need to ask some questions. Routine, but necessary. I understand. When did you last see your husband alive? This afternoon, about 3 o'clock. What was his condition? Alive. Detective Samchai's expression didn't change. Didn't even flicker. I mean, was he in good health? Appeared to be? He seemed fine. Healthy. No complaints. We had an argument. About? I glanced at Carter. He gave the smallest nod. I found him with another woman. In our bedroom. I was upset. We fought. I left. What time did you leave? Maybe 3:30, 3:45. And you went? To a hotel. The Paradise Inn. Carter and I checked in around 4. We have the receipt if you need it. The detective wrote this down. His pen made scratching sounds. Too loud in the quiet room. And you didn't come back? No. We stayed at the hotel, ordered room service, tried to process what had happened. Did your husband have any medical conditions you're aware of? I hesitated. This was the moment. The lie that would either save us or condemn us. Not that I knew of. He was seeing doctors? Not recently. He was always very healthy, took care of himself, went to the gym, watched what he ate. The detective looked up. No heart problems? High blood pressure? Anything like that? No. Nothing. He wrote some more. Mrs. Whitmore, I have to inform you that this appears to be a natural death. Heart attack, most likely. We'll know more after the autopsy. But there are no signs of foul play, no evidence of struggle, no suspicious circumstances. Relief hit me like a wave. I let it show on my face. Let the tears come. Because a widow should be relieved, should want her husband's death to be simple. Natural, not murder. When can I take him home? I asked. My voice cracked perfectly. In a few days. After the medical examiner finishes his report, after we complete the paperwork. I nodded, wiped my eyes. Felt like the world's worst actress and the world's best liar all at once. Is there anything else you need? The detective asked. Just one thing? I looked toward the bedroom. The other woman. The one who was here. Where is she? At the station. Giving her statement. Did she? Did she find him? Yes. Around 7 this evening. She called it in immediately. Tried CPR while waiting for ambulance. But he was already gone. Had been for hours. I see. You'll want to speak with her, I imagine. The detective was watching me carefully now. No. Carter's voice was sharp. We don't. Mom doesn't need that right now. The detective looked at my son. Studied him. I wondered what he saw. Grieving teenager? Protective son? Or something else? Something colder? Of course. He handed me a card. If you think of anything else, anything that might help us understand what happened, call me anytime. I took the card. Thank you, detective, for being so thorough. It's my job. He stood. Again, my condolences. These situations are never easy, especially with the circumstances you discovered. I appreciate your professionalism. We'll be in touch about the body, about when you can make arrangements to transport him home. Thank you. He walked us to the door. Carter and I stepped out into the humid Thai night. The neighbors were still watching, still whispering. I could feel their eyes on us. The grieving widow, the devoted son, neither of them knowing the truth. We got in the car. Carter drove. Neither of us spoke until we were back at the hotel. In the room, I sat on the bed, stared at nothing. That went well, Carter said. He was opening his laptop, starting to type. Well? Mom. We pulled it off. You were perfect. Devastated, but not hysterical. Cooperative, but not suspicious. I felt sick. Don't. Please don't congratulate me on lying to the police about your father's murder. Carter stopped typing. It's not murder if he was dying anyway. That's not how it works. Isn't it? No. Murder is murder. Even if the person is already dying. Even if you think you're doing them a favor. I was doing you a favor. I didn't ask for it. You didn't have to. I'm your son. Protecting you is what I do. Not like this. Mom. His voice was harder now. It's done. We can't undo it. We can only move forward. So that's it? We just pretend nothing happened? We don't pretend. We accept. Accept what? Accept that I made a choice. Accept that choice has consequences. Accept that we're in this together now. Whether you like it or not. I looked at my son. Really looked at him. Tried to see the baby I'd held. The toddler who'd cried when he scraped his knee. The little boy who'd been afraid of thunderstorms. But all I saw was this stranger. This cold, calculating killer who'd murdered his father and felt nothing. When did I lose you? I whispered. You didn't lose me. I'm right here. No, you're not. The Carter I knew would never. Would never what? Kill someone? You don't know what I'm capable of. Apparently not. He closed his laptop. Came to sit beside me. Mom, listen to me. I love you. More than anything. More than anyone. And I would do anything to protect you, including things you don't want me to do. Including things that make you look at me like I'm a monster. Because you're worth it. Your happiness, your freedom, your life. It's worth everything, even my soul. I started crying. Couldn't help it. Carter, we're going to be okay, he said softly. I promise. I don't see how. Because the hard part's over. They've ruled it natural causes. There's no investigation, no suspects, no evidence. We're free. We're not free. Not really. We'll carry this forever. Yes. He put his arm around me. We will. But we'll carry it together. And maybe that's enough. I leaned into him. Let him hold me, my son, my protector, my burden. Tomorrow the autopsy would happen. Tomorrow they'd examine Gregory's body, look for cause of death. And hopefully, they'd see what Carter wanted them to see. A heart attack, natural causes. A man with an undiagnosed tumor who'd simply run out of time. But tonight, in this hotel room that smelled like bleach and lies, I sat with my son and mourned. Not just for Gregory, but for the life we'd had, the innocence we'd lost, the line we'd crossed that we could never uncross. Outside, the Thai night continued, indifferent to our pain, to our guilt, to the terrible thing we'd done and the terrible secret we'd keep forever. The autopsy results came 3 days later. 3 days of living in that hotel room. 3 days of Carter on his laptop, deleting, erasing, covering digital tracks I didn't want to know about. 3 days of me sitting by the window, watching the Thai sun rise and set, wondering when the police would figure it out, when they'd come for us, when this nightmare would finally end. Vanessa called 17 times. I never answered. On the fourth day, Detective Samchai came to the hotel. His face was unreadable. Mrs. Whitmore. He stood in our doorway, hat in hand. "May I come in?" "Of course." He sat in the chair by the window. Carter stayed on his bed. Laptop closed now. Face carefully neutral. "The medical examiner has completed his report," the detective said. "And?" My voice was steadier than I felt. "Heart attack. Massive. Instantaneous. Your husband wouldn't have suffered." I nodded slowly. "That's good." That he didn't suffer. There is one unusual finding. The detective was watching me carefully now. "Your husband had a brain tumor. Glioblastoma. Stage 4. Very advanced. Oh my God." I let my voice break, covered my mouth with my hand. "He never told me. He never said anything." "You didn't know?" "No. Nothing. He seemed fine. Healthy." "How could he not tell me?" "Perhaps he didn't know himself," the detective said, "though that seems unlikely for a medical professional, especially a neurosurgeon." Carter spoke up. "Maybe he knew and didn't want to worry us. Didn't want us to see him deteriorate. Wanted to handle it on his own terms." The detective turned to my son. "That's very mature of you. To think that way, about giving him the benefit of the doubt." "I'm just trying to make sense of it," Carter said. "Trying to understand why he'd keep something like that from us. As are we all." The detective stood. "In any case, we've ruled this a natural death. The tumor likely caused the cardiac arrest, combined with stress from the confrontation you described. It's unfortunate, but not suspicious." "When can we take him home?" I asked. "Today. The paperwork is ready. I've signed off on everything. You're free to make funeral arrangements." "Thank you, Detective, for being so thorough, for treating this with such care." "It's my job." He moved toward the door, paused, turned back. "Mrs. Whitmore?" "Yes?" "I'm sorry for your loss and for the circumstances. No one should discover what you discovered. It's a terrible way to lose someone. I know that doesn't make it easier, but I wanted you to know. Thank you. That's kind." He left. The door clicked shut. Carter and I sat in silence for a full minute. Then, "We're clear," I whispered. "Yeah, we're clear. Are you sure?" "Mom, they ruled it natural causes. The case is closed. There's no investigation, no follow-up. We're done." I should have felt relieved. Should have felt the weight lift. But all eyes continue felt was emptiness. My husband was dead. My son had killed him. And we were getting away with it. "Do you feel anything?" I asked. "About what?" "About him being gone." Carter was quiet for a long time. Then he opened his laptop, started typing again. "I feel relief," he said. "That's all? Nothing else?" "Nothing else." I stood up, walked to the bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror. I looked the same face, same eyes. But something inside had shifted, rearranged itself, made room for this new truth. I was complicit in murder, and I felt nothing. The flight home was long, 13 hours. Carter slept most of the way. I couldn't. Kept seeing Gregory's face, kept hearing his voice. This isn't what it looks like, except it was exactly what it looked like. And now he was dead. And I was free. The word tasted wrong in my mouth. Freedom shouldn't come with a body count, but here we were. We landed in Boston on a gray morning, rain streaking the windows. Carter's phone buzzed as soon as we cleared customs. He checked it, frowned. "What?" "It's Aunt Diane, Dad's sister. She wants to know when the funeral is." I'd forgotten about the funeral, about all the people who would want to say goodbye. Who would expect me to grieve properly, to play the devastated widow? Can you handle the arrangements? I asked Carter. He looked at me. You sure? I can't. I can't stand in front of people and pretend. You won't have to pretend, Mom. You loved him once. Hold on to that. Use that. I loved who I thought he was. That's enough. The funeral was set for Saturday, 5 days away, 5 days to prepare, to practice my grief, to become the woman everyone expected me to be. Carter handled everything, the flowers, the music, the reception venue. He moved through the tasks like a machine, efficient, unemotional. When did you get so cold? I asked him on Thursday night. We were in the kitchen, going through sympathy cards. He didn't look up, when I had to be. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. I set down the card I was holding. From Gregory's golf buddy. Sorry for your loss. Generic. Meaningless. Carter. What? Do you think we're bad people? He finally looked at me. I think we're survivors. That's not the same thing, isn't it? I didn't know how to answer that. The doorbell rang. Carter got up to answer it. I heard voices. His and someone else's. Female, familiar. Then Vanessa walked into the kitchen. I stood up so fast my chair fell backward. Get out. Eleanor, please. I said get out. She looked terrible. Hadn't slept. Hadn't eaten, probably. Her skin was gray. Eyes hollow. Clothes hanging loose. I need to talk to you, she said. There's nothing to say. There's everything to say. Carter appeared behind her. Want me to call the cops? No, I'll handle this. He hesitated, then left, but I could feel him nearby. Listening, ready. Vanessa sat down at the table. Uninvited, unwelcome. I stayed standing. You have 2 minutes, I said. I loved him. That's not what I want to hear, I know. But it's true, I loved Gregory, and he loved me. You don't know anything about love. Maybe not. But I know about guilt. And I know about grief. And I know that what happened, what we did, it's destroying me. Good. Eleanor, you destroyed my marriage, my family, my life. And now you want sympathy? I want forgiveness. Then you're in the wrong house. She started crying. Not pretty tears this time. Ugly, broken sobs that shook her whole body. I'm sorry, she gasped. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't bring him back. I know. Sorry doesn't undo 6 months of betrayal. I know. Then what do you want from me, Vanessa? What could you possibly want that I could give you? Her eyes met mine. Bloodshot, desperate. I want you to know he was going to leave you. The words hit like a fist to the stomach. What? He was going to ask for a divorce. Next month. He told me. You're lying. I'm not. He said he couldn't keep living a lie. That he loved you but wasn't in love with you anymore. That the tumor made him realize life was too short to be unhappy. Get out. Eleanor. Get. Out. She stood, wavered. For a second I thought she might collapse again, but she steadied herself against the table. I'm sorry, she whispered one more time. I hope someday you can forgive me. Not for him, for yourself. Because this anger, this hate, it's going to eat you alive. She left. I stood in my kitchen, shaking. The rage was so intense I could taste it. Metallic. Bitter. Carter appeared in the doorway. You heard? Yeah. Is it true? I don't know. Does it matter? Yes. No. I don't know. I sat down heavily. Put my head in my hands. If it's true, if he was going to leave me anyway, then what was the point? What was the point of any of this? Carter sat beside me. Took my hand. The point is you didn't have to go through a divorce. Didn't have to split assets. Didn't have to watch him marry her. Didn't have to spend years bitter and angry and humiliated. This way is cleaner. Cleaner. I laughed. It came out broken, hysterical. He killed him. My son killed his own father, and called it clean. Mom, don't talk to me right now. He stood up, walked away, left me alone in the kitchen, with sympathy cards and lies, and the weight of what we'd done pressing down until I couldn't breathe. The funeral came too fast. Saturday morning, Gray sky threatening rain. The church was packed. Gregory had been loved, respected, important. All these people who thought they knew him, who had no idea what he really was, what we really were. I sat in the front row, Carter on one side, Gregory's sister Diane on the other. She kept patting my hand, whispering about God's plan and better places and how Gregory was at peace now. I nodded, said nothing, wondered what she'd say if she knew the truth. Vanessa sat in the back. I could feel her eyes on me, could feel her grief mixing with mine. Or maybe it wasn't grief anymore. Maybe it was something else. Guilt. Fear. The terrible knowledge that we'd all played a part in this. Person after person stood up, talked about Gregory's brilliance, his skill as a surgeon, his dedication to his patients, his love of classical music and fine wine, his commitment to family values. That one made me want to laugh. Or scream. Carter squeezed my hand. Hard. A warning. I held on. When it was over, when they'd lowered the casket into the ground and thrown dirt on top and said all the meaningless words about ashes and dust, I walked to my car. Vanessa caught me in the parking lot. Eleanor! Wait. I kept walking. Please. Just one more thing. I stopped, turned. My patience was gone. What? Did you know? About the tumor? I looked at her. At this woman who'd stolen my husband, who was now trying to share my grief like she had any right to it. No, I said. I didn't know. But I think he wanted it that way. She nodded, started to walk away, then turned back. He talked about you, she said, at the end. When we were in Thailand, he said you were the best thing that ever happened to him. And the biggest mistake he ever made was not appreciating that. I felt something crack in my chest, small but sharp. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know he loved you. Even when he didn't show it. Even when he was with me. He loved you. She walked away, left me standing in the rain that had finally started to fall. Carter appeared beside me, umbrella in hand. You okay? No? Want to go home? Yes. We drove in silence. The house felt empty, cold, like it knew Gregory was gone, like it was mourning him in ways I couldn't. I'm going to sell it, I said. The house? Yeah. Too many memories. Where will we go? I don't know yet. Somewhere new, somewhere that doesn't smell like him. Carter nodded. Okay. Just like that? Just like that. Mom. I'm 18. I'll be going to college soon anyway. You should do what makes you happy. What if I don't know what that is anymore? Then you figure it out, one day at a time. We spent the evening packing, not seriously, just sorting, deciding what to keep and what to let go. I found Gregory's watch in his dresser, the Patek Philippe, worth $40,000. I held it, felt its weight, thought about throwing it away, smashing it, destroying something of his the way he'd destroyed something of mine. Instead, I put it in a box. For Carter, when he was older, when he could look at it without seeing his father's blood on his hands. If that day ever came, night fell. Carter went to his room. I sat in the living room in the dark, thinking about everything that had happened, everything that had changed. My phone rang, unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me. Hello? Mrs. Whitmore? Yes. This is Agent Torres, FBI. I sat up straight, heart pounding so hard I thought it might break through my ribs. Yes? I'm calling about your husband's death. We've received some information that raises questions. What kind of information? The kind that suggests his death may not have been as natural as it appeared. I felt the world tilt. What are you talking about? This was ruled natural causes by the Thai authorities. We'd like to come speak with you. Tomorrow, if possible. About what exactly? About the circumstances surrounding your husband's death. About his relationship with Vanessa Chen. About your son's whereabouts the evening Gregory died. We have some concerns. What concerns? Agent Torres paused. Mrs. Whitmore, I don't want to discuss this over the phone. We'll see you tomorrow. 10 a.m. Is that acceptable? Yes. Of course. Good. We'll see you then. She hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, shaking so hard my teeth chattered. Carter appeared in the doorway, his face in shadow. Who was that? The FBI. They want to talk. About Dad. When? Tomorrow. His face didn't change. Didn't show fear or panic or anything. Just that same cold calculation. Okay? Okay? That's all you have to say? What do you want me to say, Mom? That we're screwed? That we're going to prison? That everything I did was for nothing? I want you to tell me the truth. Did you make a mistake? Did you leave evidence? Carter walked to the window, looked out at the dark street, the streetlights casting long shadows. I don't know, he said quietly. I thought I covered everything. But maybe I missed something. Jesus Christ. Or maybe someone talked. Who? I don't know. Vanessa, maybe. She's destroyed. Guilty. People do stupid things when they are guilty. Things like go to the FBI. Carter turned to face me. Either way, we'll know tomorrow. And then? Then we decide. Decide what? Whether to run or fight. I stared at my son. You've thought about running? I've thought about everything, Mom. Of course you have. I stood up, walked to him, put my hands on his shoulders. If they arrest you, they won't arrest me. If they do, I'll confess. I'll say it was all me. That I did it. That you had nothing to do with it. You'll do no such thing. Carter, I'm 18. An adult. If anyone's going down for this, it's me. Not you. You did this for me. And I'd do it again. We stood there, mother and son, killers, family. The rain outside had picked up, drumming on the roof, washing away the day, washing away nothing. I love you, I whispered. I know, he said. That's why I did it. That night, neither of us slept. We sat in the living room, waiting for dawn, waiting for the FBI, waiting for our carefully constructed lies to either hold or crumble. And in the silence between us, I thought about Gregory, about the tumor growing in his brain, about the affair he'd used to push me away, about the will that left me everything, about the champagne that had killed him, about how love and hate were sometimes the same thing, about how protection could look like murder, about how we'd crossed a line we could never uncross. Tomorrow the FBI would come. Tomorrow we'd find out if Carter had been as smart as he thought. Tomorrow our whole world might end. But tonight, in this house full of ghosts and secrets, my son and I sat together and waited and tried to pretend we weren't terrified of what dawn would bring. The FBI agents arrived at exactly 10. Agent Torres and Agent Kim, sharp suits, sharper eyes. They sat in our living room, declined coffee. Mrs. Whitmore, Agent Torres began, we've been reviewing your husband's death. We've received information suggesting foul play. My heart pounded. I kept my face shocked. I don't understand. The Thai police ruled it a heart attack. Based on an anonymous tip, Agent Kim said, claiming knowledge of a planned murder. Who? We can't disclose that. But we take credible threats seriously. What do you need from us? We need honest answers about your husband's medical history, relationships, activities before death. Did your husband have enemies? No. What about extramarital affairs? I hesitated. Yes. He was having an affair with my best friend, Vanessa Chen. And how did you feel about that? Devastated, angry, betrayed, angry enough to hurt him? If I wanted to hurt my husband, I'd have divorced him, taken half his assets. I wouldn't have killed him. But your son, Agent Torres said. Carter has been unusually calm about his father's death. Suspiciously calm. He's in shock. People grieve differently, or he's not grieving at all. Carter spoke up, his voice cold. My father betrayed my mother, humiliated her, destroyed our family. I'm not pretending I'm devastated he's gone. That doesn't mean I killed him. Where were you the evening of his death? With my mother. Paradise Inn Hotel. Checked in at 4. Ordered room service at 6. Stayed in the room. Can anyone verify that? Hotel staff. Credit card records. Security cameras, probably. Agent Torres turned to me. Did you know your husband had a brain tumor? No. Not until the detective told me. Hard to believe you wouldn't notice symptoms. He knew how to hide things. And honestly, Agent Torres, I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy being the perfect wife while he screwed my best friend. She sat back. Mrs. Whitmore, I'm going to be direct. We think someone poisoned your husband. The room went cold. What? The medical examiner in Thailand missed it. We re-examined the body. There were traces of potassium chloride in his system, enough to cause cardiac arrest. That's impossible. Is it? Yes. Gregory died of a heart attack from the tumor. Our report says different. Who would have access to potassium chloride? Any medical professional? Gregory worked at a hospital. He'd have access. Did he bring medications home? Sometimes. So it's possible he brought potassium chloride home without you knowing. I suppose. Agent Torres stood. We'll be in touch. This conversation is over, I said. Contact my lawyer if you want to talk again. We're not done, Mrs. Whitmore. Yes. We are. They left. Carter and I sat in silence. Did you know they'd re-examine the body? No. Someone requested it. Vanessa. We're done. We're not. They suspect. That's not the same as knowing. My lawyer Edgar called immediately. Eleanor. The FBI contacted me. Did you kill your husband? No. Did Carter? No. I'm asking one more time. Did either of you have anything to do with Gregory's death? No. Then don't talk to FBI without me. Don't answer questions. If they show up, call me. The FBI came back twice more. Each time Edgar shut them down. But I could feel walls closing in. On day 9, Vanessa called. Eleanor! I need to see you. No. I told them. The words hit like ice. What? I told the FBI. About the affair, Gregory's tumor, how angry you were. You signed our death warrant. I'm sorry. They kept asking. I couldn't carry the guilt. To warn you, they're coming for Carter. They think he did it. When? Tomorrow. They're getting a warrant. I hung up. Looked at Carter. We have to run. Carter walked to his room. Came back with a backpack. Packed and ready. Cash, passports, fake IDs. I've thought of everything. We're not running. Because running makes us look guilty. We are guilty. They don't know that. What's the plan? We wait. They arrest me, maybe. Then Edgar does his job. They have no physical evidence, no witnesses, just suspicion. The next morning they came, 6 agents, with a warrant. Carter Whitmore, you're under arrest for the murder of Gregory Whitmore. He looked at me as they put handcuffs on. This was always how it was going to end. The trial started 6 weeks later. The prosecution built their case from circumstantial evidence. They painted Carter as cold, calculating, a teenager who'd researched poisons, covered tracks. The motive? Protecting his mother. It was compelling. The defense argued reasonable doubt. Edgar suggested Gregory might have killed himself, a man with terminal diagnosis. Why not go out on his own terms? But the jury didn't buy it. Vanessa testified, cried on stand. Talked about Gregory's fears about Carter. Edgar cross-examined, tore apart her credibility, the mistress, the homewrecker. But damage was done, I testified. Talked about Carter's kindness, intelligence, how much he'd loved his father. But jury faces showed they didn't believe me. Mothers always defend their sons. Closing arguments came. The prosecutor painted premeditated murder. He needs to pay for it. Edgar stood. My client is 18, a child who watched his father destroy his mother. But he's not guilty. Because prosecution hasn't proven it. They have theories, but no proof. The jury deliberated 3 days. We have a verdict. Have you reached a verdict? We have. In the case of Commonwealth versus Carter Whitmore, how do you find? Not guilty. The courtroom exploded. Carter didn't move. Just sat there. The judge dismissed the jury. Mr. Whitmore, you're free to go, but understand. I don't believe you're innocent. I believe the prosecution failed to prove you're guilty. There's a difference. We left. Reporters everywhere. Carter, did you kill your father? No comment. We drove home. Carter went to his room. I followed. We need to talk. About what? About what happens now. Now we move on. Just like that? Just like that. You killed your father. I protected my mother. I don't know if I can live with this. Then don't. Pretend it never happened. I can't just pretend. You've been doing it for years. Pretending Dad was good. Your marriage was fine. Keep pretending. Eventually it'll feel true. I stared at my son. This cold stranger. When did you become so cruel? When I had to be. I sold the house 3 weeks later. Carter and I moved to Vermont. Small town. Nobody knew us. I got a job at the library. Carter enrolled in community college. We lived like roommates, polite, distant. 6 months passed, then a year. The anniversary of Gregory's death came and went. Neither of us acknowledged it. One evening, Carter came home. We need to talk. About you. You're not living, you're existing. I can't move on. Why not? Because every time I close my eyes, I see your father. You didn't kill him. I did. But I let you. You were protecting yourself. I was protecting my guilt. Carter sat beside me. Mom, he betrayed you, was going to leave you. You would have destroyed yourself trying to save him. I couldn't breathe. Do you ever regret it? No. Never? Never. Nobody deserves to be murdered. Some people do. You're wrong. Maybe I'm a monster. Then what does that make me? The woman who raised one. 2 years passed. Carter graduated, got a job, moved out. We saw each other once a month. Awkward dinners. I started therapy. Didn't tell her the real reason, just said I was dealing with grief. On the 3rd anniversary, Vanessa called. Eleanor! I wanted to apologize. For everything. Little late, I know. But I needed to say it. I think Carter did it. I hung up, called Carter. Vanessa called. She knows, she knows. Let her. Nobody will believe her. She could go to the press. Let her. The trial's over. Double jeopardy. How do you know all this? You learn fast when you have to. Vanessa went to the press. Did an interview. It made minor splash online. Then disappeared. Nobody cared. On the 4th anniversary, I drove to Gregory's grave. Stood there trying to feel something. I'm sorry, I whispered. Behind me, footsteps. Carter! What are you doing here? Same as you. You never talk about him. There's nothing to say. You killed him. Yeah, I did. Do you miss him? Sometimes. Not the man he became, but the father he used to be. Do you think we'll ever be okay? Honestly? No. Why not? Because some things you don't recover from. What we did, who we became. That's permanent. So we just carry this forever? Yeah, we do. That's the price. I started crying. Carter put his arm around me. We're damaged. Both of us. I know. Can we ever be more than that? I don't know. But we're alive, and we're together. That has to count for something. We left the cemetery together. Something had shifted. We were broken, but we were family. 5 years after Gregory's death, I met Marcus. A teacher. Kind eyes. We dated 6 months before I told Carter. That's good, Mom. You deserve to be happy. After everything? Especially after everything. Marcus proposed after a year. Carter came to the wedding, gave a speech about new beginnings. People cried, said it was beautiful. I wondered if they'd know if they knew the truth. 2 years into my marriage, the FBI called again. New evidence, a witness, a housekeeper at the villa. She saw Carter that afternoon. That's impossible. Is it? Yes. Carter was with me. The housekeeper says different. My lawyer Edgar shut it down. Without physical proof, it was just her word. The investigation closed. Again, Marcus asked about it. It's routine, when someone dies suddenly. You seem nervous, anyone would be. Is there something you're not telling me? No? Marcus, there's nothing. Carter got married that year. To Priya, smart, kind. During vows, Carter cried, said she made him believe in second chances. After the ceremony, we talked. She doesn't know, does she? No. Are you going to tell her? No. Some things are better left buried. You don't think she deserves to know? Know what? That she married a murderer? Do you ever think about him? Sometimes. And? I wish things had been different, but they weren't. 10 years after Gregory's death, I got a call from Boston General. They found medical records. Gregory had been diagnosed with glioblastoma 8 months before death. Declined treatment. There was a note, instructions to send records to his wife if he died. The records arrived. I read every word. The final note was dated 2 weeks before his death, in Gregory's handwriting. To Eleanor, by the time you read this, I'll be gone. And you'll hate me. You should. I made choices designed to make you leave me. The affair with Vanessa. Flaunting it, hurting you deliberately, because the tumor would change me, make me someone you wouldn't recognize, violent, confused. I couldn't let you see me like that, so I made you hate me instead. Better to be hated than pitied. I'm sorry for the pain, but not sorry for the choice. I loved you, even at the end. Gregory. I read it 3 times. Gregory had orchestrated his own downfall, had pushed me away deliberately, and Carter had killed him before the tumor could. I showed the letter to Carter, so he knew. Yeah. Does that change anything? No? Why not? Because you still killed him. Took away his choice. I know. Do you regret it now? Carter looked at the letter. No, I don't. Why not? Because he was suffering. I gave him a quick death. That was mercy. You didn't do it for mercy. No. I did it for you. That night, I told Marcus. Showed him the letter. Does this change what you know? Marcus studied me. I know the truth. I've always known. And I love you anyway. Whatever you're carrying, you're still the woman I married. I started crying. He held me. I burned the letter that night. Watched it turn to ash. Carter's secret was safe. 2 years later, Carter and Priya had a son. They named him Gregory. I held him in the hospital. Tiny. Perfect. Innocent. He had Gregory's eyes. Mom, you okay? Yeah. Just thinking. About. About second chances. About whether we deserve them. We're all just trying our best, making choices with incomplete information. And when we get it wrong, we live with it. We do better next time. I looked at my son holding his son and realized he was right. We were all just trying to survive. That didn't excuse what we'd done. But maybe it made us human. Later, Marcus asked how I was doing. Fine. Just thinking about family, about how we're all connected, by the secrets we keep. That night, I dreamed about Gregory. In the dream, I asked if he forgave us. For what? For everything. Eleanor? Listen, you did your best. Carter did his best. Sometimes people's best is messy. But it's still their best. I don't know if I can accept that. You don't have a choice. This is your life now. Live with it or let it destroy you. I woke up, went to my study, pulled out a journal. 10 years of truth. When I died, someone would find it. I wrote one final entry. Today, I held my grandson, named after the man my son killed. And I realized, we're all doing the best we can, making impossible choices. Carter killed his father. I helped cover it up. We're guilty. We'll always be guilty. But we're also alive, building lives, finding moments of joy. Maybe that's not redemption. Maybe it's just survival. But sometimes survival is enough. I closed the journal, locked it. Tomorrow I'd wake up, live my life, carry my secret. Because that's what you do when you love someone. You carry their darkness so they don't have to carry it alone. I went back to bed. Marcus pulled me close. I love you. I love you too. Everything okay? Yeah, everything's okay. And for the first time in 10 years, I almost believed it. In the end, we're all storytellers, crafting narratives about who we are, editing out the parts that make us monsters. Carter and I wrote our story in blood and lies. But it's always there, in the quiet moments, when we're alone with ourselves. That's when we remember what we did. And we have to decide, every day, whether to let that knowledge destroy us or whether to keep living. I chose to live. So did Carter. Maybe that makes us cowards. Or maybe it makes us human. Drop a comment. What would you have done? Would you have stopped him, turned him in, or protected your child no matter the cost?